The sub 15,000 rupee segment has seen a massive surge in the amount of launches recently, but there are two smartphones that have managed to grab everyone's attention. That's right, we're talking about the Moto G5S Plus and the Xiaomi Mi A1. Now if you are confused between the two, you're in luck because we're here to find out which is the better buy. Both smartphones have metal unibodies and dual rear cameras. Both have camera bumps at the back, but the one on the Moto G5S Plus is more prominent. Both phones have similar designs with curved sides and edges that make them rock on flat surfaces, and antenna bands running along the top and bottom. The fingerprint scanner location is different. The Xiaomi Mi A1 has one at the back, while the Moto G5S Plus has it in the front. The Moto is also thicker in comparison, measuring 9.5 mm compared to 7.3 mm on the Mi A1, which in fact has a slightly larger battery. This is where it gets a little tough for us. Both phones sport 5.5-inch Full HD displays, but we found that the panel on the Moto G5S Plus is better than the one on the Xiaomi Mi A1. If you watch a lot of content on your phone, the Moto inches ahead. Both phones have the same Qualcomm Snapdragon 625 SoC, 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. Both also have hybrid dual SIM slots, which allow for storage expansion at the cost of a second SIM. However, performance is where they differ. We found that the Moto G5S Plus runs a little warmer, while the Mi A1 has higher scores in all benchmarks. Both phones feature fast charging, but the Xiaomi Mi A1 has a future-ready USB Type-C port, while the Moto G5S Plus has an old-fashioned micro USB port. The IR emitter on the Xiaomi Mi A1 is a bonus with which you can control household devices. Thanks to its better performance, better thermal management and the IR blaster, the Mi A1 comes on top in this segment. In terms of software, both options run Android Nougat with very little customizations. The Mi A1 has the edge again because it is certified Android One device and so is guaranteed to get software updates. The Moto G5S Plus on the other hand makes no such claims. We saw Moto G5S Plus deliver better battery life in our tests by managing 11 hours and 15 minutes of continuous video playback, while the Xiaomi Mi A1 managed 10 hours and 18 minutes in the same conditions. Power management on the Moto G5S Plus seems to be a little bit better. These two contenders use different approaches for the dual camera setups. The Moto G5S Plus uses a 13 megapixel RGB sensor with another 13 megapixel monochrome sensor, while the Xiaomi Mi A1 has two 12 megapixel sensors, one with a standard lens and the other with a telephoto lens. The Mi A1 is easy to use and managed to take better photos in daylight, but had some exposure problems in high contrast scenarios. The dedicated portrait mode delivers better photos than the depth mode on the G5S Plus. Low light photography is where the Moto G5S Plus redeems itself. Following a software update, we did see an improvement in the output of the Mi A1. The telephoto lens makes this phone more versatile since you can also take photos of distant objects. Overall, the Mi A1 shows more promise than the Moto G5S Plus in the camera segment. While both these phones have a lot in common, we must say that the Xiaomi Mi A1 has an edge over the Moto G5S Plus. It runs cooler and has a guarantee of major software updates. Camera performance is better in most conditions except low light, where the Moto G5S Plus outperforms it. If you manage to get your hands on one, the Xiaomi Mi A1 is definitely more value for money. However, if you can't, you can still choose the Moto G5S Plus without losing too much. Thanks for watching. Do hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Gadgets360.